Welcome to episode 97 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It is Tuesday's episode, people. We've done it again. Oh, my God. It's Tuesday's episode, but it is Friday, the 10th of April, 2020. It's Good Friday, people. How is your Easter weekend going? Not that swiftly at the minute, because it's 7:45 in the morning, people. I know. I've only fucking gone and done it. I've got up early, caught that early worm. I am the early bird this morning. On a Good Friday as well. Hey? Celebrating Jesus being nailed to a cross. That's what we're doing this weekend. I know. I bet about now, he was just like in his prison cell, just bigging it up. I'll get off. It's fine. I'll get off this. It's no problem. My dad will sort this out for me. But he was bigging it up to all the other prisoners in there as they're hammering together his fucking cross outside. I'm not sure you're going to get off this one, buddy. I don't care who your dad is. What sort of lawyers he knows. He thought it'd O.J. Simpson it out of there, but, yeah. Good Friday, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? You know, this weekend we buy each other chocolate eggs for whatever reason. Rebirth or something like that, is it? You know, he popped off on the Friday, nailed to a cross, turns up back on Sunday. I'm back, guys. And the Sunday before, Palm Sunday, it always makes me laugh, Palm Sunday, because I just imagine Jesus going in, high-fiving people, shit like that. Just having an amazing time. Oh, yeah, the king's here, baby. And by Friday, he's nailed up on a cross. I've seen the metaphorical equivalent of that happen on stage. People go on with a fucking start-up music, walk-on music, like that, high-five in the audience. And then when it comes to the mic, they've got nothing. And they just die on their ass. It's a beautiful thing to watch, people, as another stand-up. Dear. I don't know. My daddy will get me off this, man. My daddy will get me off this. No, you're going to be made an example of. You're going to be dying now for all the sins of everybody in the world. And I'm sure Jesus was going, can't people just be nicer? Can't they just, like, stop sinning and shit and I just get to breeze through my 40s, maybe settle down, have a couple of kids with Mary Magdalene? I don't know. That's always a weird one I found. The whole... Why would you... The whole thing about Mary Magdalene and Jesus, you know, it must have been a bit awkward, dating somebody, allegedly. I don't know whether that can get me killed. Probably in America, it will get me shot. I don't know American people. Let me know. Does that get you shot if you say Jesus was tapping Mary Magdalene? I don't know. I always found that a bit weird. Why you would be... It must have been a bit odd. Somebody with the same name as your mother, who you're tapping. I don't know, people. But here we are in the midst of at the start of Easter, the Easter celebration in here in the UK, England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. It is Bank Holiday Friday. So everybody's off work who's not working anyway. Who is working, rather. Everybody's off work, like, on Friday today and Saturday, Sunday, and their bank holiday Monday off as well, unless they're one of the key workers. The NHS, our heroes, and our shop workers and all that sort of shit. So whether they're getting time off or not, I don't know. But everybody else seems to be working from home here, around about Briggs Towers. There's a lot of cars around, shit like that. A lot of people walking about. Yesterday, as I was sunbathing out the front of my house. My house, front of my house is south facing, so it's a fucking, I tell you what, it's a fucking sun trap out there. I am a Kentucky Fried Benny today. I was only out there a couple of hours. Jesus Christ, my face is burning, man. Burning, I tell you, people. You always know, like, you've caught the sun when you look at your hands. This is for white people out there, by the way. Exclusively, this is for white people who catch the sun like me. A pasty-faced, pale-faced white person who burns, like, just fucking looking into the microwave, waiting for my fucking meal to cook. You always know when you've burnt a little bit, when you've got that fucking white in between your fingers. That's where you see where you've caught the sun. In between your fingers. My face is just like obviously red raw, because I stupidly was just sitting there facing the sun reading a book. I know, reading, people, getting a bit of education in while we're sitting outside. But the white bits in between my fingers are ultra white, and then I look like a dirty sort of like brown colour. That's what I go. I go red on my face, and I get absolutely lacerated by the sun on my face, and then my hands and everything just go fucking browny red, dirty brown colour. I am not, I realised yesterday, I am not beach body ready. I am not even sitting outside the front of my house body ready, to be honest, people. I have, I think while I've been locked up, I've put on about a stone in weight. I know, I tell you what, I am loving it, though. All you fatties out there, people, is that the politically correct term? People with weight issues. I don't know. No, Ben. It's not an issue for us, Ben. I don't know. But I'm getting fat, people. I need to start doing some sort of exercise. Definitely. This is how I realised I was fat the other day. Decorating. Still going on. It's almost done, by the way, people. I know. It's been going. It's been a journey we've all had to work through, guys. But it's been a hell of a journey. But we're almost there now, people. We're almost there. There's just a few little bits I need to tinker around with, and a few little bits I just need to paint up, and then it's done. Fucking hell. That's basically why this podcast is late, by the way, because I've been consumed by that this week, and tidying up the fucking dust around and shit like that. So that's more or less done now. But this is how I realised I need to start doing some sort of exercise. It's comforting having a belly at the age of 43, but when you've never had one before, it's like a novelty for me, this is. This is how I realised. I was painting around the top of the wall the other day, just where the wall meets the ceiling, and I thought, fucking hell, my hoodie top is wobbling a bit. This baggy hoodie top I'm wearing as I'm painting, and with I was not wearing a hoodie top, people. It was the movement of painting from side to side was actually making my fucking belly wobble. I just stood there prodding it for a bit and just seeing it like when somebody's carrying out a jelly on a tray. That's what it felt like. It was just like, just moving from side to side, and I was like, maybe I need to run my ass around the block a couple of times, see how we go. Not that I can really run at the moment, due to I don't know if I've mentioned it, people, due to my herniatic situation. But that's all healing up, not too bad. It's fucking split open a bit the other day, and I had to hold it together a little bit. But just the corner bit of the scar seemed to like open up a little bit, and was little. I know it sounds fucking disgusting, but it seems to have stuck together again. I'm like a split teddy bear. Something some little kid's been throwing around. I don't know. But Yeah, it was fucking gorgeous sitting out there yesterday, people. I tell you, if you've got a garden, go and sit in your garden. Stay 2 meters away from everyone walking by. But yeah, it was just fucking glorious sitting there reading a book. I was reading Made in Scotland, the Billy Connolly book, which is really good. I was quite enjoying it. I quite enjoy a nice, a decent biography, autobiography, whatever, either. Finding out about people. That's it. I'm a fucking nosy bastard. That's what I am. I'm a nosy bastard who reads. Hey, what have you been up to? That's the sort of person I am. Let's find out all about you. You tell me about yourself. Go. Yeah, so I was enjoying reading that, like sitting outside. And just where he came from and that sort of thing, you know, like his ideas about when people were saying like you've come from nothing, and whereas that sort of like presents the image, obviously that you know, he was poor like when he was upgrowing, but like nobody really comes from nothing. You know, he still had something. He had a identity and you know, his Scottish heritage and that sort of thing. So he came from something, and now he kind of gets a little bit pissed off when people say that. And how people, how he doesn't, you know, he seems quite a humble guy. It's an interesting story, you know, because he was basically, you know, I know there's been other comedians and that sort of thing, but he's sort of like the first British modern sort of like stand-up. You know, I know like in the early days and that sort of thing, he was kind of doing sort of like pub jokes and shit like that, or jokes that he's heard and that sort of thing. But he became more like an American style. Probably, I think, in this country, the only really British American style stand-up that there's been. Let's have a bit of tea, hang on. You know, who did more than just, you know, the say what you see comedy by fucking numbers approach that so many people do these days. You know, here's something that I've noticed. Have you noticed this as well? I've noticed this. Not that sort of style. It was more a little bit deeper, you know. So we're learning about ourselves. He's uncovering truths about the human condition, which is like the style of comedy that I prefer, to be honest, rather than, have you seen this? The sort of like, you know, Peter Kay sort of like approach, or McIntyre, or, you know, there's something a little bit deeper in there with Billy Connolly. It's a fucking cracking book. I thoroughly recommend it, he says, in a Jonathan Ross accent. Yeah, it's really fucking interesting. Just, you know, just learning about where he came from and his upbringing. And I'm about half. Let's have a look. I'm about 107 pages in at the minute. You know, and how he started like in the folk scene after being a welder and shit like that. It sounds fucking awful working on the docks and shit like that. But you know, we've all done it, people. I've worked in a call center. In the past. That's fucking horrendous. You get that beep coming through, and sometimes you can't be asked to take the call, so you just hang up on them. Send yourself to the back of the queue. They were the days, people. I'm sorry for anybody I hung up out on there who may be listening. I'm not at all. I fucking loved it at the time. Oh, sorry. Or just cut somebody will come through. Hi, I've got a mortgage and I wanted to... Oh, God. You can't be doing your fucking voice for the next half hour, buddy. You're going to have to ring back up, I'm afraid. Ring back up with a slightly less annoying voice, and you might be able to speak to me. Then with the days, people. Then with the days. Yeah, so I've been... I was sitting outside reading that... having a little chat to the neighbours, and it was just nice fucking chilling out, man. Just chilling out for a little bit. for a couple of hours outside, caught the sun, sitting outside with a smoothie. You see, it's not all chocolate and crisps. That is my one nod to being a little bit healthy. I think the smoothie makes you feel better about yourself, I think. He says, this almost seems like a lame stand-up routine or something, but it's just because you sort of like, you get the frozen fruit out, don't you? This does sound like a lame stand-up fucking bit. You get the fruit out the freezer. It just makes you, it feels like you're doing something healthy, doesn't it, having a smoothie? You're possibly not. There's not a lot of fruit in there. Most of it's like apple juice never from concentrate or from concentrate, whichever one you decide to pick up. But, and it felt so nice sitting outside yesterday, just chilling out in the sun on your face. Oh, it was nice. And then you realise when you come in that you're actually white and you've burnt yourself. Yeah. Bit of a cough there, people. Not a dry cough. Don't worry. You're not going to catch anything. Also, yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? The day before yesterday, I was outside. Some neighbour, somebody in the area who's like about 60, walked past with a dog, lured me into a false sense of security that everybody is totally being nice to each other and neighbourly, and went, morning! And I gave the morning back. I'm not usually a first person morning thing. I wait to be morninged rather than do the morning. I'm a morning rather than a morninger. She did that. And then about 30 seconds afterwards, a younger woman walked by. She must have been in her 30s, something like that. And I thought I'd take the impetus here and just, be nice. Sort of made eye contact and just went morning. And she fucking blanked me. And, Jesus. How much of a fucking weirdo do you want to feel? I felt like dragging the first older woman back and saying, you explained to her what we just did and it wasn't weird. You explained to her that you said morning to me, I said morning to you. And then this other woman happened to, and now she thinks I'm some sort of fucking weird predator hanging around on my doorstep smoking, just waiting for people to walk by so I can say morning. Oh, fucking hell, man. Brutal. Felt like dragging her back and just saying, look, just for my own fucking peace of mind, just say morning back. So, I don't think that you think I'm some sort of weird fucking predator hanging around on my fucking, front door just waiting to jump out with a morning at people. Staying that 2 meters away. Oh, it's fucking brutal, man. So that was my one attempt at being assertively neighbourly, and it was thrown back in my face, people. I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyway, this is where, if this was a comedy routine, it'd be, I shouldn't have had my cock out, man. I don't know. That's what somebody had finished that bit of material with, I imagine. The old switcheroo, the old pull back and reveal, literally, I imagine. So that was my yesterday, people. And then I stayed up all night having to tidy up and fucking dust and clean and shit like that. It was about midnight by the time I got done, people. So that's why the podcast didn't come out yesterday. As for, nobody's really doing a lot at the moment, are they? You know what I mean? I'm getting a few jobs done round the house, going out. It looks like it's going to be a bright, sunny day for the nailing of Jesus today. So we can all celebrate that. Supermarkets and everything have gone mental because it's the bank holiday weekend and lockdown, and they're restricting people getting in the supermarket. So the queues have been horrendous, apparently. I got all my stuff in on Wednesday because I thought, fuck that shit. It's going to be mental over the weekend. And the police have started shitting themselves now because, like, obviously it's bank holiday weekend. It's England, which a bank holiday weekend in England, especially the Easter one, is like, basically this is the format of the weekend. Friday, you're off work, you get up, you'll have a bit of breakfast, you'll do a few little jobs, probably go a bit shopping, get some beers in, and then start hammering the beers on Friday afternoon. You hammer that till late. Saturday, you wake up, you think to yourself, oh, God, I'm feeling a little bit rough after yesterday. I have a bit of breakfast, and then by about midday, you think, I'm not at work today. I'll have a beer. You hammer it all day Saturday. Sunday, you get up, you think, Jesus is back. I better celebrate that with a beer. You hammer it all day Sunday. Monday, you think, fuck, I'm shit. I'm back at work on Tuesday. I might as well get in a few beers before then. It's going to be the last time I can drink until next Friday night. And that's it. So the police are just worried about everybody having fucking, especially because the weather's nice, barbecues and fucking getting together, spreading that virus round, coughing on each other's sausages or burgers, I don't know. Whatever people are doing out there. So they've upped the ante in Northampton, and they're starting fining people and shit like that for hanging around together. It's the youth hanging around on street corners, outside fucking, I've never seen the attraction with that. Even when I was a ute, I never really hung around sort of like outside shops and shit like that. They're fucking like moss to a flame outside of fucking, you put a fucking shop on a corner and open it, and it'll be immediately surrounded by youths outside just hanging around. Something to do with perishable and non-perishable goods that fucking teenagers like to be around if they're overpriced and located on a corner. I don't know, people. There's not lots apart from that. Like this is Northampton police, by the way. Northampton's fucking in the news all the time about like the weirdest fucking shit going on. But they've started clamping down. There's a little park over near where I live, and there was fucking loads of people about yesterday. Loads of people walking around, getting in the sun, going for more than one walk or more than a little bit of exercise. Not that I've been dobbing people in like other people have. Oh, dear. That's the end of the tea, people. So other stuff that's I've been up to. I watched, I don't know if you've seen the Three Identical Strangers documentary on Netflix. It's fucking weird and amazing and fucking tragic and it's got everything, people. Basically, it's about, I remember reading something about this as well at some point. I think it was when I did psychology A levels or something like that. Something about twins and shit being split up at birth, and basically one being put into a poor family and one being put into a rich family, just to see what sort of traits were hereditary. I mean, like these days, you wouldn't get away with that shit, would you? I mean, just plucking twins out of a fucking orphanage and then going, well, you get to be the rich one and you get to be the poor one, and we're going to see how that experiment fucks you both up. I think it was done in the 60s or the 70s, I think, in America. This is a documentary about three identical triplets who basically that happened to. And the way they found out, they were not told they were triplets. They were just put in, I think one was put in a like working class family, one in a middle class family, and one in quite a rich family. And the way they found this out was one of the triplets started going to a college, and everybody fucking knew him at the college or whatever. And he, like, on his first day, everybody was talking to him, high-fiving him, fucking, you know, saying, "Hey, man, how you doing? It's nice to see you back," and all this shit. And he was like, "What the fuck?" And it turns out that one of his identical brothers, who had been going to the college or something the year before and hadn't gone back, and one of his mates said to him about it, and "You're the spitting image of, like, one of my mates," and they drove around there, and it turned out to be his fucking identical brother. Then they were in the paper about that, and then the third brother fucking saw that, or his adopted sister saw that, and fucking, it turns out they're all identical fucking triplets. So, I mean, it's a fucking amazing story that far. And then it turns out to be a more sinister thing where, like, they were put in an adoption agency, and then, like, they had people coming round and checking on them and fucking, I don't know, fucking drilling into their brains, putting microchips in there, I don't know. But they were doing it. It was basically an experiment to fucking completely fuck these people's lives up. And one of them kills himself in the end, I think, and it all kind of breaks down. But they become really, really famous and made loads of fucking money. And I don't know, man, how I'd feel about that. You know, they seem to just breeze into it. You know, they seem to just be, this is my brother. I don't know, there's something about, you know, like, it must be weird to be a twin, and it must be, you know, like, all twins, particularly identical twins, are a bit strange, aren't they? There's always some sort of fucking weirdness about them. You know, there's always, you know, ones, you know, you usually get one that's really outgoing, one that's really quiet and fucking sinister and fucking put upon. He's probably the one, you know, the runt of the litter, slightly smaller or slightly uglier. You know, just got a weird twist on the other one. You know, they just, like, you know, their eyes are too close together, got one ear lower than the other, something like that. I don't know, a tooth that sticks out, you know, a little bit too far. But there's always something weird I find about identical twins in that. And because there's something nice about, you know, being like the only person you are. Isn't there? You know, and to find out, you know, like, if you were to find out tomorrow that you had an identical fucking brother or sister or whatever, and, well, if you're a man, it would be a brother. If you're a woman, it would be a sister, wouldn't it? You know, like, if they're not exactly identical all over, are you? If you're a guy and you got a sister. Yeah, there's something nice about being like a one-off, I think, you know, and it'd be obviously it'd be interesting at the start, wouldn't it? It'd be interesting at the start, seeing if you had the same sort of, like, traits. Essentially what they did, like, in that experiment that they were doing, to say that basically the nature-nurture debate, isn't it? And, but there's something nice about being, you know, authentically just you, just a one-off, you know, you're this creation, and you get to find out all these things about life and learn about life and learn who you are and what traits you have and understand yourself a little bit more. But to have somebody who's identical thrown into that mix, and these guys were like 16, 17, I think. I think they're about 17 years old when this happened, so they didn't grow up with this. They're just all thrown together. And it's kind of weird when they were, like, initially chatting and shit because they're finishing each other's sentences and, it's, you know, it would make you question your identity a little bit, wouldn't it? Whether that you are who you are because that's the way you are, or because of the environment that you're brought up in, you know. you know, like you have all these traits that we have ourselves, don't we? You know, like you have like we've all got little weird fucking shit that we do. That's just like, you know, that's our specific thing that we do. And then to find out that you're not a one-off, you know, this whole movie isn't just about you. You know, there's other people who are exactly the same and they've got the same traits and mannerisms and things like that. It'd make you, you know, like, it's a bit of a punch to the ego, that, a little bit, isn't it? You know, you think you're hey man, I'm a one-off. There's nobody else like me in the world. Yes, there is. There's two more. Exactly the same. You're not a one-off at all. You're not special. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I quite like the fact I'm like the youngest in. I've only got an older brother. Like I'm the youngest, and I quite like that. You know, being authentically just the way I am. Obviously, it gets me in trouble sometimes, but I don't know, man. Yeah, so I watched that documentary. It's fucking amazing, and when you're watching it, you're thinking, holy fucking shit, these guys are really... it makes you question how much actual free will you have with the things that you do. You know, all those little things that we do, or like how your path goes down a certain way. They had twins on there, like female twins on there, and their lives were so similar. They both went into like filmmaking. They both did certain things. They had the same mannerisms. They obviously looked the same and shit like that. But it just goes to show how much control we actually do have over our lives, and how much is just like ingrained in our DNA, from like the choices we make to fucking the haircuts we have to, you know, obviously if you're going bald or something like that, you're going to have a short one unless you go over for the comb over. I don't know. So I watched that, and I would thoroughly recommend it. I don't know, people. What are we on? Jesus Christ, I've been fucking babbling on for 32 minutes, people. Jesus. We're going to try and get... I know I keep saying this, people. We're going to try and get out on time tomorrow. Saturday, being as I've been rambling a little bit on this episode. If you want to message me about anything, it is podcast@benbriggs.co.uk. You can like the Facebook page for the Ben Briggs podcast, and you know, if you're enjoying this, just tell me you're enjoying it. If you're not, you know, keep it to yourself, motherfuckers. I don't know. It's I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. It is 18 minutes past 8 now. So have a fucking great... Jesus got fucking executed and then came back, baby. I'm back. Back out of this fucking cave, rolling that rock across and leaving my fucking shroud for everybody to question whether it's real in the future or not. Have a great day. It's going to be a fucking sunny day. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe. Wash your fucking hands. Don't sneeze in people's faces. Don't go around fucking jerking people off and then fucking wiping it all over their face. Nothing like that. Joiking people off. Wanking people off. That's playing to the American crowd there. Have a great Good Friday, people. I'll be back tomorrow, motherfuckers, and it will be tomorrow. Oh my God. And take care of yourselves. Goodbye.